Good evening and welcome to Sex is Medicine, your number one resource for holistic sex education. I want to thank you for tuning in and joining me this lovely Thursday evening for another delicious episode. And I have a really fun and exciting guest. We're talking about yonis, vaginas, making them taste great, smell great, feel great. It's, an area of concern and interest for, I think, all people who love and adore, have yonis and enjoy taking pleasure with yonis. So, without further ado, I would love to introduce you to our wonderful guest this evening. She is Tracey Bryant, and I have been virtually connecting with Tracey, I think for a few years on social media, and we finally have an opportunity to chat live with you here online, and I'm very stoked about that. And Tracey Bryant, along with being a wonderful, beautiful woman, is a sensual empowerment coach, certified Yoni STEAM practitioner, feminine health and wellness educator, and womb advocate. She has a bachelor's degree from McNeese State University in sociology and human sexuality, and she has a license in social work. She is a certified natural health and wellness consultant, and she is a rape crisis and domestic violence volunteer, counselor, and advocate. I hear you on that. I too am a domestic violence advocate, counselor, and AIDS, HIV pre-test, post-test counselor, and outreach educator. So a woman with many gifts and many talents, supporting people and having a more enriching, healthy, wholesome, and whole, I guess, experience of their sexuality. So thank you for joining us this evening, Tracey.
Yes, thank you for having me, and it's such an honor to finally join you on your show. I know we had you on Honey Soul Radio a few years back. I think it was something like close to 3 years back, and we had an amazing time. But now I'm sharing your platform with you, so thank you.
Yes, it's good to reciprocate, and I regret not having it done sooner. But here we are. We get to go out with a good bang, a big bang.
Yes, before you actually transition. So it's awesome.
Yay! Good. Awesome. So we are going to talk about all things Yoni this evening, and I want to start out. We're going to talk about Yoni steaming, but I just want to acknowledge your product, your gift, your talent in creating these herbal, natural blends to support the healthy functioning of the Yoni. For those of you that don't know what Yoni means, Yoni is a Sanskrit term that means vagina, and it literally translates as sacred space. So Yoni, / vagina. So this tea that you have, Yoni, sweet Yoni tea. Tell me about that tea.
Well, the tea is actually a fusion. I am also, as you said, a sexual empowerment coach. So I help women to tap in to their sexuality, reawaken their sexual pleasure, and also connect holistically and organically with lovemaking. So with that, and also I am a Yoni STEAM practitioner, womb health and feminine wellness educator. So the tea is actually a fusion of both of my positions, my businesses, and my passion. The sexual enhancement part of it is that the tea is created with sexual enhancement herbs such as Ashtawanga and Damiana. So for those of you who don't know, both of those herbs help to raise the sexual libido, and Damiana is known as the feel-good herb. So it also helps to relieve stress and depression. So I also combined it with raspberry leaf, hibiscus, fenugreek. Raspberry leaf is known as a wellness herb for the womb. So if you use it as a tea, it becomes a tonic, and it helps the womb to be toned, to be healthy. It helps bring proper pH balance, healthy flora, as well as the fenugreek helps you to become juicy, okay? And then I combined it with pineapples, kiwi, and cranberries. And for those of you who don't know, honey, those fruits right there already make you taste sweeter. Okay? So what I've done is created this healthy aphrodisiac tea that increases the sweet smell and taste of your vagina. So it is a lover's tea as well. So that's sweet Yoni tea.
So I brought it up because I'm going to share a funny story with you because it really works. It really, I mean, honest to God truth. So I go to this acupuncturist who's amazing. He's phenomenal. He's such an incredible healer. And he gives me these herbs and to drink as a tea. And my friends and I, we joke it's like it's stinky tea, right? And it's just like this bitter, horrible, like Chinese herb tea, right? And it's awful. And so
it's probably really good for you.
Oh, it's so good for you. It's so amazing. I mean, it's so healing, right? But for the longest time, I'm like, I started drinking this tea and like, I didn't really connect the dots, but I went through this period of time where I'm like, God, my yoni's just like, I get some funk in my junk. Like, what's going on? And I'm putting probiotics in there. I'm like doing all, I'm like, like, what is the deal? And then I stopped drinking this tea for a few days and, you know, it was still kind of funky. And then you sent me a sample of the Yoni tea and I started drinking that. And I didn't notice anything right away, but then I had sex and I think that got everything going. And then, oh my God, it was like night and day. It was like this fragrant bouquet. And I'm glad that you mentioned that about the red raspberry leaf, balances the pH balance and the little, you know, probiotics. Cause it's just like, it is amazing. And so I have this contrast of this like totally fucking my junk thing going on. And then I drink your tea and it's like honey. It's like sweet honey Yoni. It really, really, really works. So that is like and you know, and the thing is once I started drinking your tea, like I don't even have to drink it every day. It's just this like ongoing yumminess. Mm-hmm. As long as I don't drink any more Chinese herbs, I'm good.
Right. Yes. I'm so glad because I know some women, they have a doubt. They're already, you know, they go in and they're like, oh, this is not going to work. I had one woman call me and she told me, she said, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I thought this was bullshit. I just bought it because I heard of it and I just wanted to try it. But I did a taste test 3 days later. And oh my God, I tasted like berries. And I was
I mean, it's phenomenal. And I was so grateful to have that really clear experience of contrast, like going from like, good God, like it's like dank. I think I said that to you. I'm like, it's like dank.
You did.
And then drinking your tea, I'm like, oh my God. So it was like night and day. So, you know, and we did a show a few months ago with S. Denise Jefferson, and she gave us the lowdown on like what to eat to make your yoni smell great. And it makes sense because it's all like chemical. I mean, we're basically just like a big bag of chemicals going on. So it's all this chemical reaction. And the other thing about your tea, and then we'll go into yoni steaming, but and I'm totally just talking it up because it's such a revelation. It truly is. But the tea itself is so pleasant that I actually had my male partner drinking it too. So
that's what you do. Yeah.
We're drinking your sweet yoni tea because it's just so good.
Yes, it works for him as well. Even though it's sweet yoni tea, you can definitely share it with your lover. And the ashwagandha helps his libido as well. So, and then he smells good and tastes sweet. So, you know, I've tasted my honey with a little sweet yoni tea, and I like it.
Well, there you go. It's sweet
but
sex
thank
tea.
you. I'm so glad you like it. I'm so glad you're a fan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for making such an incredible product, for making something. I mean, it just makes it so accessible and so enjoyable to add this into your daily routine. Okay. So enough about that. I don't want to sound like an infomercial. I just honestly really appreciate your sweet yoni tea. It's amazing. So let's talk about sweet yoni steaming.
Okay, yes. Sweet yoni steaming, which is all good because it's still sweet in the sugar pot.
Yes. So what I was really drawn to about the idea of yoni steaming is the idea is that it can actually release emotional and sexual trauma. So how does that, well, first let's back up. Let's talk about, for the person who doesn't know, and I'm one of them, I don't really know, what exactly is yoni steaming? Like if I were going to sit down to steam my yoni, what is the process? What do I do?
Okay, well, the first thing we would do an intake, and I would get a history of some of your health, health concerns or your health history, as well as if there's any trauma, because 4 out of 6 women, have spoken up and said, I've been sexually violated. Mm-hmm. So every 4 out of 6 women, and those are just the ones that reported, so we all have some trauma, and from that trauma, not only do most of us have trauma, but a lot of times it's been passed down.
So if I am a client coming to you and wanting yoni steaming, you're going to do an intake form and you're going to assess trauma. You're going to look at my sexual reproductive health issues. What else are you going to do?
Sexual history, menstrual history, eating habits. What are some of your spiritual wellness routines? Mm-hmm. Any history of fibroids, if you have hysterectomy, cysts, all of that is a factor when doing womb health and wellness. Okay. I even ask very personal questions, such as, do you have orgasms? Do you like sex? How do you feel about it? Because all of that gives me an imprint on your womb and what we're dealing with. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, why is our attitude about sex important in regards to healing our womb? Like, is it, because one would think, well, it's just my body. Why can't you just give me some herbs and make it better? So why is our mental disposition an important aspect?
Okay, well, as you know, sex is pleasure. And as you know, sex is medicine. Sex is healing. And sex is release. Okay? So if we are holding on to any type of guilt, shame, any pain, past abuse, and we haven't dealt with it, then that is all impacting our womb. If we have issues with sexual release and we aren't having orgasms, or if we're having sexual pleasure and then we're feeling guilty afterwards because of some trauma in our history, things like that, that is all having an impact on the health of our womb. And with our womb, that means it's having an impact on our creativity. It's having an impact on our ability to manifest. It's having an impact on our successes as far as in relationships with our loved ones, with our children, even with other women. Mm-hmm. So it does play a very big factor in our day-to-day lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. So you're intaking all of this information, and then what is the next step?
The next step is I will have the woman dress out, and she'll put on like a big, beautiful caftan. I have the candles lit, incense going. I'll usually ring the bell 3 times, allowing spirits to come in healing angels and whatever light and light beings of love and light that come in energy healing. And she will lay down on the massage table lie on her back, and she will lift her gown all the way up under her breast, and I will do before I say a quick silent prayer, thanking, the universe and the healing energy for being present. And I will take a castor oil along with some olive oil, and I will warm that and do a abdominal massage, which is right there on her womb area. So I'm massaging her womb, her abdomen, as well as feeling for her ovaries, feeling for her fallopian tubes. And also, if there happens to be a woman who comes to me and has had a hysterectomy, I have a lot of women who say, well, I had a hysterectomy, I don't have a womb anymore, which probably is more than likely a result of some type of trauma that has happened that wasn't released, So now the womb is removed, that she still is able to have a healthy womb massage and abdominal care because the energy of the womb is still present.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Yes, the energy of the womb is still there. Her femininity, her energy, her feminine essence, all that is still very much a part of her. So we tap into that. So I do an abdominal massage, and I'm massaging the womb, the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, and I'm using castor oil because that pulls out the toxin. Then I take a Indian mud clay pack filled with mud, warm fresh water, as well as castor oil with some essential oils, and I put it on a cheesecloth and wrap her womb with this mud clay pack with the castor oil so that it can continue to pull out toxins. So then we put a crystal mandala on her womb area, and then I also put them on her chakra areas as far as the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, and the third eye. But I definitely put one around her womb area, and that crystal mandala tunes and tones. It retunes the womb. So she's getting crystal healing as well. And from there, I clear her energy and do some Reiki, some womb Reiki, and then I just clear the energy. I pray over the womb. I speak to the women that came before her. We thank the womb for her loyalty, for her dedication, and we also ask for forgiveness for any self-abuse and self-betrayal we may have, done on ourselves. And by this time, she's laid out. She's probably slobbering. She's totally relaxed. She has totally released and let go of everything she was holding on to. It is gone. So at this point, I rub her feet and do some light reflexology on her feet because, pinpoints of organs in the neurons are also in the feet that are connected to the body. And so then I also do that. And I let her relax for a while, and I play maybe some Indian flutes or some, Tibetan bells, and, so it's the aura, the atmosphere, everything, all of the elements are present. You have water, fire, air, earth, everything is present, including the sound. So with that, I let her rest and relax. And then probably about 45 minutes in, she gets up and she goes to the Yoni steam stool. And the Yoni steam stool is a wooden carved stool that has a hole in the center. And then I have herbs up under the hole. So the herbs have been steeping probably a couple of hours before she got there. So now we lift the pot and all of these steaming herbs full of sandalwood, rosemary, roses, raspberry leaf, cloves, dongquan, nettle, black cohosh, wild yam, and just cinnamon and just frankincense resins, all are just coming up. She's squatting over the pot, and I put a nice blanket around her, and she relaxes, and she allows the steam to go up into her uterus, which is the womb, the vaginal canal, the fallopian tubes, ovaries, as well as her anus. So the whole reproductive system is being steamed. It's being cleansed. And because of the steam, what is going on is it begins to sweat. And so things are coming down now. You actually feel things rolling off from your vaginal area going into the pot. Now the benefits are it cleanses, detox, strengthens, and tones her womb and her vagina, her yoni, and it helps to relieve irregular menstruation, fibroids, womb trauma that we just discussed, infertility, cysts, emotional and hormonal and spiritual imbalances, and more. So the vaginal steam immediately relaxes her and rejuvenates her. It's a very tranquil, comfortable self-love experience.
Well, God, as you're describing the whole experience, it sounds like this beautiful ritual of feminine empowerment and healing, and you're a shaman, you're a guide through this healing process. It just sounds beautiful. All the ritual around it, and then to squat over the steaming pot. So my question is, because what you're describing is It sounds like a healing session, and it is a healing session.
It is.
And I've heard yoni steaming referred to in, like in Western media, kind of stuff on TV. And it's kind of like, people kind of like throw some herbs in a pot and sit on top of it at like these spas. So, in your opinion, I'm guessing that the whole process is probably a lot more, the depth of healing is going to be much more profound. And the whole process is going to have a degree of potency if you do the ritualistic aspects along with it, as opposed to just going to a spa and squatting over a stool.
Well, right. They have the Korean spas, which are really popular, and they have the sitz baths, and those are healing as well. They're healing. They are. I don't want to take anything away from them. However, it's not personal. You're sitting there with 6 other women. All of you are sitting, squatting on a stool. There's a TV up above you, and everybody's getting their yoni steam. It's like there's no prayer. There's no womb connection. There's no tapping in to the healing energy of the womb and recognizing that and calling that out. It's more aesthetic. It's more aesthetic. So, but what I offer is something more personal, more spiritual, tap in more to the emotions, and to do some release and healing. That's what I do. Yeah.
You offer medicine.
Yes.
Yeah, body, mind, and spirit. So holistic medicine. That sounds like what you're describing. And yeah, and not to, I don't know much about the steam spas, but it's with the description that you gave, it sounds like getting a pedicure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from it, and a lot of women do it, and you start somewhere. But if you really want to get into removing blocks, and really want to get into releasing sexual stigma, or releasing any trauma, or opening up in your creativity, begin to start tapping into your manifestation. Yes, that's what I do. That's
okay.
Different.
So it's the whole process. So that's important. That's the distinction that I was hoping to try and make. So the distinction is that the whole process around it is it's a healing process. So it's not just I can take some herbs and put them in a bowl and squat on them and my fibroid cysts are going to be gone. It's actually working with somebody who knows what they're doing and specializes in this sort of thing, and can support you in getting to the root cause, the primary cause of the physical manifestation of the illness.
Yes, and the benefit is I am a priestess, an oracle, and a mystic. So I do tap into the spirit of your womb.
Okay. All right. So that's important, because, we're do-it-ourselfers. I would do it myself, and I would just take a bunch of herbs and put them in a pot and sit on them and hope for the best. So.
Yeah. And nothing's wrong with that. I mean, that's a start. You're at least saying, hey, I need a little help here. I'm going to do. And hey, you have to commend someone for that,
Absolutely. And it sounds like it would be a pleasurable experience, just that. I think the idea of squatting over warm, fragrant water just sounds delicious.
Yes, it is. It is so delicious.
Okay, so then how often? So if somebody comes to you for this ritual, healing, do you send them home with a bag of herbs and have them do it on a consistent basis in their own home? Do they come back to you? Like, what is the protocol? How often do we need to be steaming our yonis?
I do provide options. So thank you for asking that. You can come to me once a month if you like, and we can do the whole session. However, I do always suggest to my women that when they come, I would like you to begin steaming at home. So I actually have a yoni steam kit. I have a bag of 16-ounce herbs, very aromatic healing herbs, flowers and spices that you can purchase from me, as well as a yoni steam seat that fits right over the toilet. And then I actually send you instructions on how to yoni steam from home, so you can continue to do the work if with me or without me. Here you go, my sister,
Mm-hmm. So if I were going to do it, so I am all the way here in Western Washington and you're Atlanta. I'm like, okay, I want a yoni steam, but I can't come to Atlanta. So would you recommend that I purchase the herbs off your website, or would you recommend that I actually do a consultation with you and tell you what the heck's going on with me, so that you can specialize the herb combination, or is it the same one every time?
I do both. I
Okay.
do both. I always give free womb wellness consultations to all of my women. So if you call me and say, I want to start yoni steaming, this is what's going on with me, I will definitely suggest some ways and methods, healing methods, so that we can go ahead and be successful in what it is that you're seeking.
Okay. All right. So it's a good idea to have some guidance. Yeah. So it's a good idea to have some coaching about what to use and how to use it for maximum optimal benefit.
Yes, because I have a few women. I just begun a fibroids no more program. I have a few women who have come to me with fibroids. 2 of them were scheduled to have surgery in June. Okay. They came to me in January. I am happy to say 2 out of 4 women, their fibroids have already passed.
Okay.
Their fibroids have already passed. I have put them on a regimen, strict dietary regimen, as well as some herbal supplements, yoni steaming, and herbal yoni pearls. And we have stuck to plan. They call me once every couple of weeks or once a month. I follow up with them constantly. That's one thing I do. I follow up with my women. I want them to know I am available. I'm here, because we need that support. I just don't want to throw you something and say, okay, go to work, go use it. It doesn't work like this. This is new to a lot of women, and healing is very personal. So I have to make myself very available. And so I am happy to say that 2 women, their fibroids are passing.
That's miraculous. That's miraculous.
Yes. One of them went to the doctor and she was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I don't think we're going to have surgery. So I'm like, yay!
Yeah, it's got to be it's got to be gratifying getting results like that. But oh my God, the fact that these people are healing and becoming healthy using these remedies and not needing surgery. So I have 2 questions for you. One is regarding, what are yoni pearls?
Yoni pearls, they're you can make I can make my own. I have some that I've made, but I also have some that are they're Chinese herbs. And what it is, it's like a little ball. They call them tampons. They call them herbal tampons. And it's a very small ball in a gauze. And it's wrapped up in a ball, and it has a string on it. And women are inserting those and leaving them in for 2 to 3 days. And when they pull them out, the mucus is coming out, dried menstruation's coming out. They're regulating their periods. It's a detox.
Okay. All right. And so then thank you. And then my second question is, so fibroids, yes, cysts. What about vaginal cancer? So if somebody actually has a tumor in their yoni, now I know you're not a medical doctor, so you can't diagnose, but do you think that doing a process like this, or even just, getting the herbs and getting a consultation, would that help with something like an actual tumor in the vagina?
Well, it can help, and it really depends on how far along they are too.
Yes.
And you're right. I am not a doctor. I am a holistic practitioner. So I don't prescribe, I don't give medicine. The medicine I give is all holistic. It's all really what holistic healers do is we tap into helping you heal yourself.
Yes.
We don't even do the healing. We just tap in and guide you so that you can heal yourself. So it really just kind of depends on how far along the cancer in the tumor is. A lot of, most of the holistic medicine and holistic healers, we do a lot of prevention. A lot of prevention. We do some intervention, but it once again, it depends on how far along it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes people will mix, allopathic medicine with holistic medicine. They'll do both.
Yes. So you mentioned hormones earlier. So what I'm wondering about is do you think this would be good for issues like breast issues, like breast cysts and that sort of thing? So steaming your yoni, having womb health, would that benefit breast health as well?
Well, yes, your breast is directly connected to the womb because they are both reproductive organs.
Yes.
We, our children get their nourishment in their, from our breasts. So they are closely related. As you know, when we're about to start our menstruation, a lot of times what our breast gets really tender.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, they're definitely closely related. But we also provide breast massage if that's something that you like as well. And we actually make a particular oil that is really good for breast health, and we can also do breast massage.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like this is an essential part of feminine health and wellness. Like if you're going to be a holistic living yogini or dakini in the world, that yoni steaming would be really beneficial to incorporate in our yoni care, our daily or monthly or weekly yoni care.
Yes, I would. I always suggest at least yoni steaming once a month. I know we have regulated menstruation. You know, you have some women who have irregular menstruation. They might have, menstrual cycle once every couple of months, or they might have 2 in a month. And, menstruation sometimes is painful. And we usually get down to the bottom of that. I go in and I ask questions, and it's about knowing what to ask. That's what it's really about. You have to know what to ask to start tapping in to the spirit of someone's womb and what's going on. Where's the pain really coming from? What's going on here?
And so what would be the best time of month to do a yoni steaming? Would you recommend it like right before you bleed so that bleed can purge everything, or right after you bleed, or while you're ovulating?
Yeah, you can actually do both. And it kind of, once again, it depends on your history. So like if you have really hard, periods, and say you have a rough time cramping, and I would always suggest doing it maybe a few days, about 5 days before your period, so that the blood can flow easily, more properly, as well as it reduces your cramping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be like once a month.
Also say you have some blood clotting, you might want to also do it after, so that you can loosen and remove any dry blood or blood that's still holding on in the womb center.
And I imagine that doing this process would help with fertility. Is that correct?
Oh yes, we definitely have a fertility blend. I'm happy to say 2 of my women are having babies now.
Yay! Oh, wow. Gosh.
I don't know why it always comes in twos for me. It's like 2, 2, 2. Like, but 2 of my women are actually pregnant now, and they were having a rough time. And usually when we're working with fertility, I will do a fertility blend with them. And I also put them on a diet regimen, as well as give them meditation, spiritual baths, as well as doing crystal work at home. So it's a lot more to it than just coming to me. You also have to do the self work.
Yes, you got to do your home play.
Yep.
So then what about a woman who is pregnant? So do you think yoni steaming is good for women who are currently, whatever the word is, pregnant, but I was trying to use a more medical term and it didn't work. So
we don't suggest yoni steaming while pregnant. We don't suggest yoni steaming if you have an IUD. If you have any, or if you have any outbreaks on the vagina. Yoni steaming is not recommended.
Okay, so let's go back to the IUD, because I know a lot of women who have IUD. So why not an IUD?
Well, there's already something in the womb that has some type of chemical response on the womb in the body. So steam releases more of whatever is within the IUD, which can cause harm. It could be, whatever the IUD, the makeup, the chemical makeup that keeps the woman from being fertile. What happens is the steam releases more of that.
Well, what about copper IUDs?
Yeah, I've actually, that's something that's kind of been looked at as maybe or maybe not, but just so that we can be sure as holistic health providers, we prefer no IUD at all.
No IUD.
And personally, IUDs are actually killing the womb. They are not good for the womb at all.
Okay, so that's important. So are you willing to share a bit more about that? Because that is huge.
Right. IUD, yeah, because you have a lot of women doing the copper IUD now. And to think, any type of metal that is up in you, staying up in you, in your womb like that, internally, it can't, it's not all good. I mean, of course, it's going to release what it does, and copper probably is one of the better ones. However, just to be sure that we don't are liable for anything or any type of intrusion with anything in your womb, we just rather not do it at all. Now, what I do is I actually have a holistic, natural birth control method that I suggest to women who recently have removed their IUDs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Boy, the more we talk, the better it gets. So you have natural birth control that you recommend for women.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm just going to share it with you, give you guys this little tidbit. You want to take black seed oil, take a teaspoon in the AM and a teaspoon in the PM. And then you also want to add vitamin C. So you can either take the vitamin C tablets or you can take those little emergency packs. Okay, and you want to use coconut oil, pure, organic, unrefined coconut oil on your vagina as lubrication because it works as a spermicide.
Okay, wait. So back up. So what is black seed oil?
Black seed oil. Find black seed oil, which is actually black cumin. It comes from the cumin seeds. Black seed oil. So you want to take it tablespoon in the AM in the morning and in the PM before you go to bed.
Every day?
Real easy. Every day along with a vitamin C pack.
Okay, so vitamin C packs, so 1,000 milligrams a day every day.
Yep. Every day. And
morning and night.
Use your coconut oil. Yep. No, don't. Just one vitamin C pack. Just one vitamin C pack. Yeah. You ODing over there, Devi.
I want 10,000 milligrams a day.
Girl.
And then, and then coconut oil for lubricant because that's a spermicide.
Yes, spermicide. Yep.
Wow.
And it's great. It's a great natural lubrication.
Yes. I'm a big fan of coconut oil. I am a big fan of semen retention for birth control as well. It seems to work really well.
Good.
But that is, I haven't heard of the black seed oil with vitamin C. That's pretty amazing. And I'm guessing it must be effective since you're recommending it for people.
Yes, it is effective. It's been effective for someone who have just recently taken out their IUDs. They've been feeling that their bodies weren't at optimal performance ever since they had the IUDs in, but they were keeping them in, of course, because, they didn't want to become pregnant. However, since they've taken them out, we've been doing, I have one lady, after she took hers out, she was she's experiencing a lot of pain. So she knew that it was in her and it wasn't supposed to be. Yeah. She said, I just knew it was in there and it just wasn't supposed to be. I could feel it in my womb. And it was a copper one. And she said, I could just feel that it wasn't supposed to be there. She said, and I was having these little pains and stuff. So I told them, just take it out. She had it in for like 2 or 3 years. And then she's still having slight pains here and there, but I've been doing the abdominal massages, and I've also, she had like a little tilt on her womb too, so I set her womb back in place with the massages, and she's been doing Yoni steaming from home, and she's doing a lot better. She's doing much better.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about how new is Yoni steaming? Because what you're describing, God, it sounds like this very ancient ritual.
It is. It is done in Suriname, the Caribbean, the Philippines, India, Africa, you name it. Women of old have been doing this ritual. And what happened was when men came in and kind of just shut things down and put the woman, patriarchy kind of just started taking over and they started running things. What happened was the women kept it hidden. So they did it. Most women, like the women in Suriname and the women in the Philippines and women in Mexico, like if women are getting married, they'll steam. They'll perfume the punani. That's what I like to call it. Perfuming the punani. Yes, so they'll do that when a woman's getting married. Also, fertility. If she wants to have a child, they'll put the herbs together. The older women will put the herbs together and they'll have her sit over a pot. And also to clean themselves after they've had babies. It's highly useful for after women have had childbirth. They sit on a pot once for one like one time a week for 3 weeks to get everything back normal, back tightened up and good, get sugar good to go.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I just love this, like I'm picturing the grandmothers of the tribe, right? This ancient,
Yes.
feminine wisdom that's
Yes.
passed down through oral tradition for, centuries and centuries and centuries, and that our Western culture has completely been cut off from that. So,
right, but it is making a comeback because it's the time of the divine feminine. So she's raising up, and it's the ancient wisdom is coming back to us now, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. It's beautiful to share. It really is.
Beautiful. So how can we find out more about this? How can we contact you and get some of this Yoni steaming goodness, as well as that amazing Yoni tea? So I'm going to have you do that, and then I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay. Well, you can contact me at sensualhoneywellness@gmail.com, or you can call me 337-944-9131. You can go to my website, sensualhoneywellness.com, sensualhoneywellness.com, and you can also get the tea at the original Sweet Yoni Tea.com, or you can find it at sensualhoneywellness.com, either one. So, that's the website.
Awesome. So as you're talking, what's really resonating with me is this idea of like having this whole kind of Yoni womb health wellness program package. And so is that something that you offer for people who are long distance? Like, me,
yes,
I'm like,
I do.
Okay, great. Could you tell me?
Yes, I do. And I also teach. I also do Yoni steaming, the art of Yoni steaming for self-care. I do it once every couple of months. For a weekend, and it's a weekend retreat, and I actually teach you the fundamentals and the art of Yoni steaming for self-care. And then if you've taken Yoni steaming for self-care and you say, I've worked on myself, I really like this, I think I can be a great contributor to women and women's health and healing of their wombs, and I think I would like to go into business. I think I would like to do this. Well, I also do Yoni steaming practitioners training as well. So I actually teach you the business and how to Yoni steam other women.
Wow. That's amazing. So I'm guessing the trainings are in Atlanta.
Yes. And I also can come to you. Like if you have 4 or more women who want to be trained or want to enjoy Yoni steaming and have the whole package, I can come to you as well. If you have 4 or more women. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 4 more women. So that is awesome.
4 more.
That is super good to know. That's super good to know.
Yep.
So if I'm not quite ready for that yet, I'm just like, okay, I just want like a Yoni health regimen. So again, is that something can I just like click a button on your website, or would you recommend me contact? Yes. Okay.
You can click a button on my website, and most women, when they click the button, they end up calling me. Because there's questions. It's new. It's new, and they just want to be sure they're doing this right. Like, I have AG7, which is for hormonal imbalance and also for menopause as well as PMS. So you have some women that are dealing with some different things. So when they look on my site and they say, okay, well, I'm going to go get the Yoni Steam herbs and stew, I actually have the Yoni Steam kit on my site. You can get the kit, and then I will send you how to Yoni Steam from home. And then if you have other, questions, you call me and we just deal with it, and I give you, different options. Yeah, I have a bunch of different programs. I have a fibroid no more program. I just opened up my Heart and Womb Divine Healing and Release program, which is a 6-week program that we dig into trauma big time. Mm. So that is, we meet once a week, and it is by video. It's a video class, and I send you Overcoming the Angry Vagina by Aquina Fua. I send you a rose quartz yoni egg. I send you your steamed herbs as well as your seat, and we do intensive work. So if you are ready to release trauma, you're ready to dig deep, you're ready to let all of that go and begin the effort of healing, release, and forgiveness, then you need to get into that program. That program is awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like something like this, for something like this, regardless of whether you're wanting to focus on healing trauma or just like, maintenance, like preventative medicine. It just sounds like and feels like you need some support. You need some guidance, right? From an expert, from somebody who actually knows. So, well, thank you so much, Tracey. It has been so delicious speaking with you. It's been such a revelation, and I've learned so much talking with you. So thank you for joining us this evening.
You are so welcome. I appreciate you, Devi. I appreciate being on the call with you this evening, and check me out. I mean, it's time for you to go get your Yoni steam kit too, honey. You're already drinking tea.
Well, I know. I mean, as we're talking, I'm like, shoot, I need to make a trip to Atlanta or bring you out here because I know some women who would like to do the whole Yoni steam ritual. It sounds amazing. It just sounds amazing.
Yes.
So thank you. And I invite everyone who's been listening, if you are stimulated by this and curious about learning more, please do contact Miss Tracey Bryant at sensualhoneywellness.com. It's obvious she knows what she's talking about and can be extremely supportive in helping all of us, I think, experience more health and more pleasure and more sensual magic and sensual medicine. So much love, peace out, many blessings. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend and a beautiful, beautiful night.